In this delve deeper, we're going to continue to decide if women can or should be forthtellers of biblical truth. I mean, should they be preachers or teachers of even men within the church? Hey, we looked at scripture previously. Now let's consider what tradition has to say about this topic. Now, tradition, it can be pretty tricky because every tradition is born out of a certain culture. So you need an understanding of the culture from which that tradition comes from to really understand the tradition. Now, from the biblical scholars, we're going to kind of turn to the historical scholars and see what they have to say. Now, the New Testament mentions Phoebe, Junia, and Priscilla as significant leaders and co-workers in spreading the gospel. Mary Magdalene also is written of as having a significant role in the life of that first generation church. Historically, the following women had enough influence within the church to be remembered: Perpetua, Thecla, Marcella, Hildegard, Catherine of Siena, Julian of Norwich, Margery Kempe, Teresa of Ávila, Anne Hutchinson, Margaret Fell, Mary Penington, Elizabeth Fry in the 17th and 18th century, Susanna Wesley, and Dorothea von Zinzendorf. Did these women stand behind a pulpit and preach? Probably very doubtful because of the culture at the time, but they did teach, and they have had a lasting influence on Christian spirituality. Now, from my Wesleyan background, I learned that John Wesley was heavily influenced by his interactions with the Moravian church. Now, the Moravians had women in prominent roles, including preaching and evangelism. So within the Methodist movement, you find people like Sarah Crosby, Sarah Ryan, and Mary Fletcher. They are standouts as women preachers. Now, these women had significant and fruitful ministries. People entered the kingdom. They deepened their relationship with God. Good stuff. And Wesley argued that God could equip both men and women with the necessary gifts for preaching and teaching, regardless of gender. Well, we've drawn our information from a particular traditional well. That well leads us to conclude that women can be effective preachers and teachers and otherwise hold positions of leadership in the church. Do you see how bias plays into your belief system? See, John Calvin, he offers another well for speculation. Calvin's position reflected the prevailing attitudes of the time, which really limited women's involvement in formal leadership and preaching roles. So according to Calvin's theology, women were not to hold positions of authority over men, including preaching to mixed-gendered congregations. So one of today's heralds of this teaching is John MacArthur. Now, here's a challenge. Phoebe Palmer, Catherine Booth, Aimee McPherson, Corrie ten Boom. Read or listen to one of their messages, and you decide if women can preach and teach. Now, from my biased position within the Church of the Nazarene, listen to Nina Gunter or Carla Sunberg and ask yourself if their preaching is sound. Check out the links in the description. Next time, we'll consider the role reason plays in figuring out if women should be preachers. Till next time.